Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. So who's ready to make our final paper purse in this series? Keep watching. So you guys have seen me make the smaller purse. You saw me make the medium one, but unfortunately I don't have the medium purse to show you because when I made it, my sister claimed it and she came and she picked it up. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the measurements on these so you'll know the differences in the sizes. So the small one measures 6 by 5 by 2. The medium is 8 by 6.5 by 3. And the large one that we're going to make today is 10.5 by 8.5 by 3. So I have a couple of things that I want to go over real quick before we jump into today's project. The first one is, I get a lot of questions asking me what size papers I start with when I am making a project and joining papers together or cutting papers down to fit a particular piece of chipboard. Guys, I always start with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. That is just the norm for me. 99% of the time, the paper that I'm working with is 12 by 12. If I am going to work with anything smaller than 12 by 12, I will let you know. But when I am cutting down papers, just know that I'm always starting with a 12 by 12 piece of paper unless I say something differently. And the second thing that I wanted to touch on was that I get a lot of questions asking for printed measurements of the tutorials that I upload. Unfortunately, that's a service that I will not be providing anymore. And I'll give you a very brief explanation of why I won't be. I put a lot of hard work into the content that I create for my channel. I put a great deal of work into writing my tutorials, recording them, and uploading them. I did not get on YouTube to become source material for other channels that also do paper crafting tutorials. I am a big believer that if you are going to be a channel that chooses to do paper crafting tutorials, you should not be shopping other paper crafting channels and sourcing tutorials from those channels for use on your own channel. So therefore, I have decided that in order to protect the hard work that I put into making my videos, writing my own tutorials, that I will not publish printed measurements. So I hope that this decision is not too much of an inconvenience for you guys, but I hope that you can understand why I would want to protect what I am creating, what I am doing on this channel, and I hope that you can support that decision. So, having said all of that, let's get down to the fun stuff and create that beautiful purse. So here are the papers that I have selected, and I am going to join these two pieces of paper together, and I'll just bring in my tape, and I am going to take my tape and just place it down here. And I'll lift up my tape. And then I am simply going to place this down. Just like that. And then I'll smooth that out. So this is going to be the back side of my bag, and this will be the side that will actually show. And I just love this bird on the oranges print. I think it's just absolutely fabulous. So I am going to bring in a piece of chipboard that measures 10.5 by 3, and what I'm going to do is I am going to find my joint where I join these two pieces of paper together. And what I want, I'm going to flip this back over so you guys can see what I mean. Here's my joint right here. So when I place my chipboard down, I want that joint to go right through the middle of this. So I am going to flip this back over to the other side. And I am going to find my center point, which is right there. And then I'm going to put this down, trying to be straight, just like that. And again, this piece of chipboard is 10.5 by 3. And then I have 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 10.5 by 8.5. And I am going to place this down using just a little more than 1/8 of an inch on my placement. And then I'll bring in my second piece, and I'm going to flip this around because it is just easier for me to place on this side. So this is my second piece of chipboard that measures 10.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to place that down just like that. And then I am going to come back and remove some of this. And then I am going to flip this up and just fold over my edges on all 4 sides. And then I am going to come back with my scissors, and right here I am going to come through and just make an angle cut, because I want to have about 1/8 of an inch from the tip of this chipboard to this paper, so that when I fold it over, everything will align up nicely. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and I am going to lay down some tape, just like this. And I'll do this on all 4 outer perimeters of this bag. All right, so I have my tape down, and all I'm going to do at this point is lift up my tape, and I will do a wrap of these fold over pieces. All right, guys, so everything is wrapped, and we're not going to place our liner piece down until we're almost finished with the bag. So what we're going to do now is place our feet, and I am using these cute little purse feet, and I get mine from Amazon, but I understand that they also sell them at Hobby Lobby and sewing stores. So what I did was I punched holes so that these could fit through, just like that, and they just add such cuteness. They make your bag so much more authentic. They really end up looking like a purse. So we've got that one, and let's go ahead and add these 2. And I'll have a link for these purse feet in the description box in case you want to order some. Let me just get that through. Just like that, we put them on, and they just look so cute already. There, you can see how cute that is and what it adds to your bag. So now what I'm going to do is we need to place our side pieces at this point. So I'm going to sit this to the side so that I can show you guys how we do our side pieces. And I already have one of my side pieces done, so I'm going to use this beautiful striped paper as my outer liner. So I am going to take this piece, and it measures 10.5 by 4, and I am going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2, at 3.5, then I'll turn it and I'll score at 1/2 inch, and I'll score at 8. And then we are going to fold and burnish those scores. And on the score mark that I made at the 2 right in the middle, this one we just kind of fold it inward, just like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, which is that large flap at the top, and we are going to glue that down. And then down here at the bottom, we have 2 corner pieces that simply need to be notched out. So I'll bring in my scissors, and I am just going to remove those small, tiny corner pieces. And I'm not using my black and white stripes, because this bag is for someone who has requested it, but they do want my logo on it, so I'll put it on there. But it's also to show you how any bag that you make can be branded if you want to put a brand on it, or you can just make these without a brand. Okay, so let's bring our bag back in, and here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to take this piece right here, and we are going to glue it flat on this piece right here, so it'll look just like that when we're done. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to flatten these out as much as I can so that everything will now lay nice and even. So let's go ahead and place some glue right on this piece. And then I'll take this piece, and I am simply going to place it down, and I'll come back and I'm going to check my placement, and I just want to make sure that when I place it, it matches up with the edges of the chipboard. And then when I lay this down just like that, you can see how it matches up with the edges here, and then it matches up with where I need for it to fold. So let's do this on the other side. I'll bring in my piece. I'll bring in my hot glue gun, and I am going to just add my hot glue. My hot glue gun is really yucky because I keep it in a holster, and because I use it so much, it gets so hot in that holster that it is discolored, but it works, so that's what matters. Might not look good, but it gets the job done. And so there, we've got our side pieces are on, just like that. And now we want to go ahead and glue this bag together. So we're just going to take our glue and place our glue right on this side. Glue is very hot, so it's going to spread out nicely when I put it in. And then we'll just bring this up, get it matched, come in on the inside and get our glue spread out. And I'll come back with my bone folder and just help to work that glue in. And you can see already just how nice that looks. And because this is a larger bag, it's hard for me to actually hold up and show you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and come over to this side, and we're going to put our glue down. For some reason my glue gun wants to stick now. And then I'm going to lift this up just like this and get this stuck down. And then you can see how pretty that is actually going to be on the side of this bag. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and do the other side, and when we do that side, it's a little tricky because we have this piece which we need to leave tucked in, and then we need to take our glue and we're just going to feed it on the inside, and we'll get enough in there so that it'll go down and hopefully fill in that crevice. So then we'll take this match it up. And then we get this stuck down on the inside. And I love this bag. I think it's just so pretty. So nice. Okay, so at this point, I am going to go ahead and place my liner pieces. And I have 2 liner pieces that measure 8.5 by 10.25. And I am simply going to place these liner pieces using glue. Made a little mess there. Let me get that on there. So I am just going to glue this up really well. And then I'm going to take it, and I'll take my bag, and I want to make sure that I've got my sides flared out like this because it'll make it easier for me to put the liner piece in. So I'll feed the liner in, and I'm going to push it all the way down to the bottom, and I'll come back with my bone folder and go on the inside and just get everything smoothed out. And then I'll come back with my paper towel and just work the glue into the paper and the chipboard. And you can see how that looks. So now we're going to do the other side. Okay, so then I'm going to take another piece of chipboard that I have covered in the same liner paper, and this piece measures 3.25 by 10.25. And the reason why it's a little bit wider than the original bottom of the bag is because when I put my side pieces on and I fold over, then I have just a slight gap where the spacing is, and I want to fill that in. So I am just going to take this, put it inside, and then get it laid down. And I think it looks great. So now we get to make our handles, and I've already made one handle, and I'll make the second one with you guys. So I have a strip that measures 12 by 1.5, and I am going to score this at 3/8 and at 1. And then I'll just fold this just like this. Come back with my bone folder. Get that nice and crisp. And hot glue all over my nails. So then I'm going to take my glue and put this down. And then I like to take just a strip of liner paper or spare cardstock and just place it on the inside. That just gives me a little bit of stabilization of that handle. The more stable it is, the better. So then I'm going to take one of my flat pieces, put it down, this piece, and then I'll fold it over just like that. Come back, get that nice and stuck, and then I'm going to run this along my desk to help the glue stick and to get my curve. And I'll let this sit for just a moment because I want it to harden. And while that's hardening, I'll go ahead and place my topper pieces. So I've got 2 pieces that measure 10.5 by 4, and I've got it folded in half. And all I'm going to do is, again, pop these sides out, add some glue to this topper piece, and get it stuck down. So I'll just place it in and stick it down just like this. I'll come back on the inside with my bone folder, get that inside nice and stuck. Then I'll do the same thing on the outside, and then I'll just go across the top to kind of square everything off nicely. Just like that. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, so to make our handle, all we need to do is take the piece that we folded over into thirds, and then we are simply going to feed it through to the length that we want on our chains, and that's how we create the handle. I'll also link one of the other videos to this so that you can see the handle making process if you need to review it. I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile, and I've got it set to 3/16. And what I like to do is I don't like for my handles to be too far down, because the further down they are, then the harder it is to feed your keychain through. So I like to keep mine fairly close to the top, and I'm eyeballing my distance, so hopefully I'm a little close on where I'm placing this. Okay, so we're ready to feed our chain through the purse, and this part will take some practice. So the way that I do it is I take my finger and I separate it just like this. Then I take the back part of the ring that I'm about to insert through, and I press it up against the back of the inside of the bag, and then I let that part that I've separated go through the hole. And that's the way that I'm able to get my rings through without damaging my paper. But like I said, this really takes some practice, and the more you do it, the better at it you'll become. So again, I am going to open this piece up just like that, so I've got that little point. Then I'll take the back part here and place it against the inside there, and I'll just guide it through. And that's how you make it work. And that's how you get the pretty handle look. Alright guys, so my handles are on this bag, and this bag is gorgeous. It is magnificent. I love it. I love the colors. I love everything about it. And because she wants a brand on it, I am going to add my brand. I have not decided on what else I might put on here, because I'm going to leave that up to her. If she wants me to add some flowers or anything, I will. But I am going to just go ahead and bring this up to my face so I can brand this and get my brand on here straight. And you can see that even though I have a really summer print on this bag, that even adding my brand doesn't take away from the cuteness of this bag. I think that it just speaks to the elegance of it, and I know that she is absolutely going to love it because it is a quality bag. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this bag making series and this branding series on our packaging. It's not over. We're going to keep it going, but I did want to go ahead and debut the larger bag so that you guys could have the instructions on how to make it. So I hope that you have liked this project, and if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.